Okay, so you've talked about the WIN journey, you talked about the year, why you did the yearbook, but what you've not talked about, you mentioned it in your introduction about the men that helped you. You had some fantastic men in your career that helped you, plus your husband, number one man.
My husband is my number one cheerleader.
Okay. So now, this is a question I want to ask. How has it been like reaching out to the men? Because there are a lot of people out there who believe that the biggest problem to level playing field for the women and mentoring the women is the men. How's it been like reaching out to the men?
Well, I have to say that, you know, the issue is really about creating awareness. You know, I'm not going to lay blame here or there. It's about creating awareness. Every time we've called upon the men, they've supported us. On the WISCAR advisory board, we have 2 men. In fact, one of our WISCAR patrons is a man, and they've given us so much support. Once men understand what it is we're talking about, I don't think enough has been invested in creating that awareness and doing the advocacy for them to understand that in their own enlightened self-interest, they need to support the enablement and the empowerment of women. You know, as they say, if you educate one woman, you have educated the nation. If you empower a woman, if you empower me, I will look after my husband, I will look after my children, and my children will include men and women. I will look after my brothers and my sisters, you know, I will look after my father and my mother, you know, so it will touch you positively. And there's no man out there, I don't think, who will stand up and say that if he's married a good woman, that she has not contributed to his success. And I don't think that there's a woman, a good woman, who wants to be honest to say if she has become successful, that she achieved that success by herself without the support of her husband. So we need each other.
Or her brother.
Or her brother.
Or her
friend. And I personally, in my own career, my corporate career, as I said to you, I've never had a female supervisor. I've always worked with male supervisors. And I've been very, very blessed and privileged to have had fantastic male supervisors all the way. But there are those men who don't understand the importance of, you know, gender diversity and inclusiveness. They don't understand it. They can't make the link. It's just like in many male leaders and many male CEOs and many people sitting on executive committees cannot make the link between people management and business performance. If you cannot make the link between people management and business, but you think that the numbers, we just focus on the finance department and focus on the marketing and the salespeople, and you don't understand that you need to enable and engage and empower all your personnel inside your organization for you to achieve extraordinary performance, then you will not understand that if you don't ensure that you have a diverse workforce, which should include women with the men, and ensure collaboration between them, and ensure that you educate them so that you orientate the staff to change their attitude and change their mindset in terms of how they treat women in the organization, that their goal, primary goal, should be to empower and enable them and give them the necessary tools to be able to be productive and to contribute to the success of that organization, then they won't get it. So that's the issue. So by understanding that diversity and inclusiveness will benefit you as the man in the organization, then you will have a vested interest in ensuring that you empower the woman and bring her into the conversation. And that if she's in the room and she's silent, you deliberately go out of your way to seek her opinion and her voice, to bring that diversity in perspective into the room, so that the quality of the decisions that you take are richer, and that will hit the bottom line. If we're able to do that, imagine if we're able to do that across the country in Nigeria. Imagine the impact of that on the GDP. Imagine the collective prosperity for all of us, both men and women in Nigeria. That's what this is about. That is why the motto, our motto is developing women to build a better nation. We didn't say develop women so that women can be empowered. No.
Okay, as we wind down now, because we really need to go, but I've been thinking now, there are a lot of women in Nigeria who have achieved greatness, who have, gotten to that peak of their careers without having, to bend in some way just to say, okay, let me compromise in this way to get to where I am. But there are a few other women who still see themselves as, okay, you need to assess me first, physically, you know, what I have to offer, the way I look, other than the intellectual capacity. What do you speak to those women this morning?
Well, what I would say is that that's not a sustainable model. You know, it's like, you know, you'll be like a shooting star. You might get there very quickly, but you'll come crashing down at the end of the day. What is sustainable is, you know, progression by dint of hard work, by dedication, and using your intellectual knowledge. We're in an intellectual world, we're in a knowledge world now, and what is important, and because we're in an intellectual world, I think it makes it a lot easier for us to ensure diversity and inclusiveness in the workplace. Why? Because in order to do that, putting the enabling structures and systems in place becomes easy, especially now with technology. You can institute flexi work. You can enable women to work from home. What you should be focusing on are the outputs, the deliverables. What do you need me to get done for you? Of course, one recognizes that it's not in every kind of work or job that is feasible or necessarily possible. But whatever we can do to create that enabling environment for people to thrive is what we should do. And believe you me, the organizations that have put in place those structures, the people that have enjoyed the benefit of those structures the most have actually been the men. If you look at organizations that have instituted creches in their companies, the men are the ones utilizing it more than the women, if you go and look at the data. So it's about enlightened self-interest, about our collective interest and what is good for the person, for the individual. And we should stop looking at people in stereotypes and saying, this is a woman and this is a woman. Look at me as a human being. Look at me as an individual. Look at me as somebody who has something to contribute. And let us put our collective productive brain power in Nigeria to work so that we can get to the promised land.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Collective, productive brain power to work.
To move Nigeria forward, yes.
Thank you. Amina Oyagbola, founder of WISCAR, that's Women in Successful Careers. Wish you a happy 10th year anniversary.
Thank you very much, and I wish you compliments of the season.